What about serial entrepreneurs? Do you have a bias for them? Are there personality traits that's a complete put off or a complete put on for you as an investor?
My learning on serial entrepreneurs is the space matters.
Okay.
I think the best value I've seen being derived from a serial entrepreneur is if they, in some sense, find adjacencies or extensions and are able to create something that can leverage their current expertise more directly. Just because I was an entrepreneur in SpaceX, I think if you're an entrepreneur in space wide, I don't think there is. I mean, yes, generically speaking, being an entrepreneur once means that you'll do a few things differently, but I don't think it gives you a material advantage to be much better than somebody else who's been in that domain before. This goes back to my point that actually being in that domain and soaking that in and then building on that in India is more important, and I think in many other countries too. And I think this is especially true for serial entrepreneurs. So I would really back a serial entrepreneur any day if they kind of are in the zone.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about gut instinct versus this, calculation at the back end, and then making your bets? And considering your rich experience, are you at a go?
No, I think it is more. I think gut has a small place. I think experience matters. If you've been through 10 failures and 10 successes, there's a lot that you learn. And I think there is some room for intuition. There is some room for gut, but I would say it's like almost 80-20.
It is all science.
It is not science. It is like a generative AI problem right today. So there is a lot of past experiences and past situations you have been in. There's a lot of past business models that you've participated in, a good host of things that have worked, not worked, so that your own generative model
is throwing up.
They're kind of throwing up these signals, right? Hey, you know what? This thing may work, this thing may not work. So you just, I think you just leverage your generative models that you build over time. The intuition part is, I think, more related to, there are some businesses that you relate to more as an investor over time. And you realize that you enjoy those businesses better, and you also seem to get the innate challenges of it and the thrills of that business. Also, you seem to relate to it better.
Do you want to pick investment that kind of aligns
I think
with that?
over time, I've come to appreciate a lot of the consumer space, right? So I did not start out in the consumer space. I mean, we all started out. I mean, of course, Flipkart was a big consumer business, but when it comes to brands, and my investment in Bluestone is a good example. Again, understanding of the B2B industry with my investment in Infra.market was a great learning. And I started get to so you kind of pick 2-3 spaces.
That's your favorite.
As it's a favorite, and I think it kind of you do that space, and other entrepreneurs think that you understand the space, and those entrepreneurs end up coming to you, and it kind of compounds, and there's a nice virtuous thing that builds up. So I think there is this combination in your generative model of the past experiences, the spaces that you seem to like, the spaces that you seem to relate to, and you want to do more, and that kind of drives the next.
The other question, Prashanth, the outlier behavior where you think like something just attracts your attention, like you look at an entrepreneur, 2-3 things you look at and it just impresses you, or it puts you off. What are those 2-3 traits on the plus side and on the minus side that you want to list out?
Yeah, I just love entrepreneurs who are slightly more humble and grounded. I mean, that's me personally, right? So I want entrepreneurs who I relate to and I can easily work with. Yes, there are a few entrepreneurs who are a bit more maverick and who probably will also create larger outlier investments. I seem to be more in the camp of working with entrepreneurs who go deep into a space and who are really very grounded in some sense, right? So I think there's nothing right or wrong in both kinds of
Sure.
entrepreneurs.
It's your bias, personal
It's
bias.
my personal bias. But what I want to see in the entrepreneur is still the energy and the ability to be flexible about what to build and be very open on what may work, right? This is very different from being slightly grounded and humble, right?
Yeah.
So your ability to have an open mind on what may really work and be able to iterate very quickly and kind of converge on something in a short period of time and not have this know-it-all attitude. See, you need to come in. I think entrepreneurs who come into a space thinking they know the consumer well is a good thing, right? So
Yeah.
that's a good starting point. But I think entrepreneurs who come into the space thinking that they know the ultimate thing that needs to be built, I think is a red flag, right? So
you're talking about the difference between confidence and arrogance, I guess.
Yeah, arrogance. You need to have a set of beliefs, and you need to have a set of convictions that will keep you in good stead in a very very challenging journey as an entrepreneur, right? But I don't think arrogance is any has any complementary value to this journey. But that does not mean that there's no successful arrogant entrepreneur.
Yes.
Let's not say that okay, if you're arrogant, you're not a successful entrepreneur. No, there are, but it's a trait, right? It's every person is different. But what is really important is being flexible in arriving at that end product that really works and being able to be very fast and nimble in doing whatever it takes to get there is where I've seen the strength is of the best entrepreneurs.
For stories like this, keep following us. From Code to Culture, our podcast. Subscribe to our channel, follow us on social media.